So I've got this cucumber and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. And I thought, okay, that doesn't sound too good. I decided I'm going to make either tzatziki or put this in my salad for lunch. So I'll make a decision in the next half an hour. I think I need to do that again. Hello and welcome to That Homeschooling Family, where we share all things homeschooling. Gosh, those cicadas are so loud. And in this video, we're going to be sharing with you how to grow your own veggies in an urban garden oasis. Started the renovations again, and we are working on our garden as well. These little babies were in the kitchen, and obviously they started germinating, if that's what you call it. And we're going to plant these in the pots to see what happens and whether we're able to grow any veggies from it. It started off by purchasing some seeds from Bunnings that we got. We planted some capsicum, pumpkin, cucumbers, broccolini, more cucumbers, lettuce, carrots, rocket, which was really yummy, spinach, spring onion, and kale.
Your hand underneath it and drop it in like that. Can I try? Now, before we put the next one in, we're going to first put the potato in this way or that way.
What do you think?
This way. Potato in, and now we've got to put the soil around it. How creepy crawly. I'm scared. Oh, I dropped it on my leg. See how going around is covering it summer? That's how you want it to be. This one looks like it has more creepy crawlies.
You mean worms?
Yeah, worms. I call them creepy crawlies because they're creepy and they crawl.
These ones are some that we planted last week. So we got carrots, got kale, lettuce. We planted a variety of seeds over August in 2022 as we wanted to see what was going to grow and what wasn't going to grow. And so we thought, let's document it, show the process and see how we go. It's really cool to see the seeds and the different sizes, shapes and colours of them. The girls were quite fascinated by that. What really inspired me to start wanting to create an urban oasis was the simple fact that we want to grow our own food and vegetables. We rely heavily on growing organic food simply because we do have the MTHFR gene, and if you have not heard it, I'll link a video up here. I made a decision that I wanted to grow our own food and live as sustainable as possible to reduce our carbon footprint and all of that jazz. But I wanted to show the girls the importance of growing your own food and vegetables and learning about where their food actually comes from. I got my amazing dad to set up our compost area in which where the compost was going to be stored and where it was going to go. The most frugal way that I found to compost was to actually buy tumblers off Facebook Marketplace, and from there I found 2 tumblers at literally half the price that I would have paid in the store, and it is so easy to compost. All you need to do is throw some food scraps in there, some cardboard, some leaves that you might swoop off from the garden or from the grounds, and just throw it straight in there. The very first step I took was actually planning on where my garden was going to go and the sort of fruit and vegetables that I was going to grow in that space. We chose to use raised garden beds, and I looked online for any secondhand ones, but I wasn't able to find anything really decent. So I ended up going to Bunnings and purchasing a couple of raised garden beds. So the area we picked was in the far end of our garden, close to the border of our property. And the area was perfect because it has direct sunlight in summer and it provides also direct light during the winter periods. The only problem was that the space that we had that I wanted to put our raised garden beds, there was these 3 massive bushes that we cut down, but there was 3 stumps left, and that was a real nightmare to try and get out. And I had my dad working on there, I had George working on there and his brother trying to remove these stumps from the ground so that we're able to level it out and finally plant our garden beds on there.
Yeah.
Watch out, back injury. Hey, 4 hours later.
So there we put in our garden beds, but we also planted a lemon tree, a mango tree, and an orange tree on there so that as they grow, it will provide some shade as well onto all the seedlings and plants and vegetables that we do grow in those raised garden beds. And it also provides some privacy from our neighbors, which is literally, we can look straight into their yard. We got a greenhouse.
We got a greenhouse.
We got a greenhouse.
We got a greenhouse. all the clippy parts are
Yeah,
to
that's
cut
going to be
them
for
off.
inside.
I'm gonna put this there if it's raining. Have that potato. Now what does this say?
Garden is growing, our garden is growing.
Garden's growing, garden's growing.
Our house is built on rocks, and as a result, our house has got quite a lot of different split levels going down towards the end of our property. And right at the end of our property is this massive pipe that goes across our land, and we are not allowed to build anything on there. So in order to, I guess, utilize the space that we had, what we did was we built a retainer wall right up to the butt of where the pipe starts. And I'm really fortunate that my dad is a cement render and he was able to build a retainer wall. What we also did was use all the rocks that we found all over our place, because we have so much rocks. So we used those rocks to build the retainer wall. It was actually wonderful to watch the girls see how cement is made and how the retaining wall came together. I'm quite grateful that my dad was able to show them that. So once the retainer wall was built, we were able to put our raised garden beds, and then it just went from there. So these are the 2 little potatoes that I pulled out from the ground from our little potato garden. Pretty small, but I'm pretty happy because this is the first time I've ever grown potatoes. I grew a cucumber. I was pretty stoked with the amount of cucumbers that I grew. I was able to make quite a few different recipes using the cucumbers that were grown, and I think we grew about 10 or so to date, but there is some more growing, which is absolutely amazing. But I was able to make a Greek salad with it, a tabbouleh quinoa salad, and a chickpea salad too. Look at this, George. Corn. Could have been a little bit longer, but still pretty good. Doesn't matter about this side. Here's what it is. Now the next thing we're waiting for is pumpkin. Our tomatoes are also growing beautifully. I didn't actually plant from seedlings. My dad bought them from another friend of his. We also have strawberries, but our strawberries actually came from our old property. And I absolutely love the story about the strawberries. It actually gets me a little bit emotional. The strawberries were actually planted by my late grandma who passed away in 2006. It's really cool to see that something that my grandma planted, 20 plus years ago, the fruits of her labor are being consumed by my children. And even though my kids never got to meet my grandma, I think it's such a beautiful thing that something that she planted so long ago is... I think it's pretty cool that something that my grandma planted all those years ago are now being enjoyed by my kids or her great-grandchildren. We also have some capsicum and carrots growing, so I'm interested to see how they're going to turn out, and let's see what happens with those. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet already, and happy gardening!